Indie Mogul.
Karma's a bitch for Zack Snyder as aliens take their revenge on Watchmen. Just how brutal was the beatdown? Let's find out with some movie math. With some theaters charging as much as $18.50 to see Monsters vs. Aliens in IMAX 3D, the question was, if you screen it, will the audience come? And the answer is a resounding yes. Playing on 143 IMAX screens, Monsters vs. Aliens pulled in $5.2 million, setting a new record for an IMAX 3D movie. And with regular 3D theaters making up 58% of the gross, Monsters vs. Aliens easily took the #1 spot with $58.2 million. Congrats to Patrick Dougal on Facebook for calling it. Sam Krantz also came pretty darn close. So this means that Monsters vs. Aliens now has the biggest opening of 2009, beating Watchmen's $55.2 million opening. Shouldn't have gotten rid of the squid, Snyder. I mean, it was a monster masquerading as an alien. Best of both worlds. Anyway, I digress. DreamWorks Animation head honcho Jeffrey Katzenberg should be pretty happy with these numbers, as he made quite the publicity tour hyping his 3D revolution. It's always nice to play chicken with idiocy and win. And this is the second biggest opening for an original DreamWorks animation movie, coming in just under Kung Fu Panda's debut last summer. And you know what that means. Ginormica and her friends will be back. While it might be debatable if The Haunting in Connecticut ever really happened, there is no arguing its successful opening weekend. In black and white for everyone to see, Haunting came in at #2 with $23 million. Despite being the 6th horror movie to come out in the last 3 months, Haunting boasted the second biggest opening haul. Only Friday the 13th beat it, and come on, it's Friday the 13th. Director Peter Cornwell has a hit on his hands, but who is Peter Cornwell? This is the guy's first movie. I hope he didn't do anything stupid like, make a pact with the devil. I asked you to rate The Haunting in Connecticut on a 1 to 10, and you gave it a 6, not far off from the 6.5 audiences gave it on Friday's episode of Beyond the Trailer. And the winner of this week's one-sentence review challenge is Willis Movies, who says, an average horror flick which lacks scares and is another Amityville horror without the suspense. Runner-up is Underground Picture with a run-on sentence review. The thing about new horror movies now is that they all pretty much scare you the same way. The Haunting in Connecticut had some parts where it went back to the old style of things where you had real suspense, so it was a better movie than the latest attempts. Nicolas Cage and audiences continue to give the finger to movie critics as Knowing takes the #3 spot with $14.7 million. Falling just 40% from its surprise #1 debut last weekend, Knowing is now up to $46.2 million in just 2 weeks. 2 things are important for a movie in Hollywood. Opening at #1, check, and crossing the 100 million mark. I don't think Knowing will be able to get that high, but it'll most likely make a killing on DVD and cable. And distributor Summon Entertainment continues to make a name for itself, as Knowing is its second biggest hit after Twilight. And after taking a look at their upcoming films, it might be a while before they have another hit on their hands. Maybe Astro Boy. We'll just have to wait and see. As for the weekend's other wide release, 12 Rounds opened at #7 with $5.3 million. That's less than the $7.1 million opening of Cena's first film, The Marine. Uh-oh, looks like the Hollywood arena is a little too tough for this WWE superstar. And Paul Blart Mall Cop watch continues. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here as the box office gross slows to a crawl. Taking in another $825,000, Paul Blart is up to $142 million. Taken is just $5 million behind. In a week or so, we'll have our answer as to who's the biggest box office underdog of 2009. I saw a movie this weekend. I'll tell you all about it after the break.
This week on WePCTV.
You familiar with photosynth?
If we had photosynthesis, I could find my keys.
We don't have photosynthesis because we're not plants.
This is only useful to me when I'm stalking my ex-boyfriend.
WePCTV is brought to you by ASUS and Intel. You dream it, ASUS builds it, Intel inside.
My name's Tommy, and I see movies everywhere. You're watching Indie Mogul.
After audiences raved about Knowing on last week's Beyond the Trailer, I decided to see it for myself. And I thought it was pretty darn good. I'd say the first 3/4 of the movie are top-notch. Great special effects, a genuine mystery, and lots of thrills. In fact, my friend leaned over during the movie and said, this is almost like a Hitchcock movie, and she was right. This very much follows the Hitchcock formula of an ordinary man trying to stop something extraordinary. It's even got the Jimmy Stewart of today, Nicolas Cage. There are 2 disaster sequences in the movie, and they are fabulous. They're so well done, it's terrifying to watch and worth the price of admission alone. My only problem with the movie was the ending, and we're in spoiler territory now, so beware. I thought the ending was too vague. Were they aliens or angels? And if these alien angels knew what was going to happen 50 years ago, Why not try to stop it instead of planning a Noah's Ark? And why torment these kids with the whispers and the warnings if the disasters can't be stopped? I also thought the ending was very bleak, and as a New Yorker, I'm tired of seeing my home constantly destroyed in movies. I'm starting to take it personally, Hollywood. And Rose Byrne's character was really annoying. I didn't like how she freaked out at the end, and what's up with stealing Nicolas Cage's kid? You can't just take someone else's kid, even if the world is ending. This is classic Cage though, and if you're a Nicolas Cage fan, this is the movie for you. It's kind of like an episode of The Twilight Zone, and that show never had a good ending either. Didn't keep it from becoming one of the most famous shows in the history of television. As always, thanks for watching Movie Math, and I'll see you on Friday as Beyond the Trailer covers Fast and Furious and Adventureland. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some movie math.
Subscribe, comment, rate it.